Love that transcends self, cultivating the Bodhisattva mind. Hello everyone. Last time we explored together the 6 heart muscles, the methods for developing the 6 paramitas. Today we'll go one step further and deeply explore the Bodhisattva mind, love that transcends the self. When you hear the word Bodhisattva, what image comes to mind? You might think of a saint who sacrifices themselves to live only for others. But the Bodhisattva spoken of in the Prajñāpāramitā Sūtra doesn't mean that. Bodhisattva is an abbreviation of Bodhisattva, meaning a being who seeks enlightenment. Bodhi means awakening, and sattva means being. The greatest characteristic of bodhisattvas is that they don't pursue only their own happiness. They make the vow to postpone their complete liberation until all beings can be happy together. This is called bodhisattva, the mind directed toward enlightenment. Why do we who live in modern times need this bodhisattva mind? We live in an individualistic society where our own success, our own happiness, our own safety are prioritized. Of course, taking care of ourselves is important. But when we live only for ourselves, we paradoxically find it harder to discover true happiness. Psychology research supports this. People who consider others and contribute to society show higher life satisfaction than self-centered people. This is because humans are essentially social animals who can only find true meaning through connection and contribution to others. #, why thinking only of myself makes me more unhappy. It might sound strange, but when we pursue only our own happiness, we often become more unhappy. Psychology calls this the paradox of happiness. The more directly we pursue happiness, the further we get from it. Why does this phenomenon occur? First, when we focus only on ourselves, our problems naturally appear bigger. Small discomforts or lacks get magnified, and we constantly want more. It's like looking at only our flaws through a magnifying glass. Second, self-centered thinking increases feelings of isolation. We come to see others as competitors or means to an end, making it difficult to experience genuine connection. Since humans are social animals, this isolation becomes great stress. Third, pursuing only our own success or happiness makes us suffer from constant comparison. The pressure to have more than others and climb higher creates desires that can never be satisfied. Fourth, self-centered goals bring emptiness of meaning. No matter how much we gain, we can't answer the question, so what? True meaning arises when we contribute to something beyond ourselves. Actually, one of the common traits of depression patients is excessive self-focus. They become absorbed only in their problems, their emotions, their situations, gradually sinking deeper into darkness. Conversely, one of the most effective treatments for depression is participating in activities that help others. According to Dr. George Valiant of Harvard Medical School's 75-year adult development study, the most important factor for happiness in life is good relationships. People with warm, deep human relationships were healthier and happier than those with money or fame. Philosopher Aristotle also said, humans are political animals. Here, political doesn't mean power struggles, but living as beings who exist within community. We cannot become complete alone. We can only realize our true selves through relationships with others. Viktor Frankl recorded that even in the extreme situation of the Holocaust, people who helped and comforted others showed stronger will to survive. Those who cared for others endured better than those obsessed only with their own survival. Modern neuroscience research shows interesting facts. The brain regions activated when helping others are the same as those activated when we receive rewards. This means helping others is itself recognized as a reward by the brain. This suggests humans are inherently designed to feel joy through altruistic behavior. ## how to not be selfish while still protecting myself. But here, an important question arises. It's good to help and care for others, but what if we suffer losses or get taken advantage of? Is unconditional self-sacrifice really right? The Bodhisattva mind spoken of in the Prajñāpāramitā Sūtra isn't unconditional self-sacrifice. Rather, it means wise compassion, accurately grasping situations, and acting in truly helpful directions. Sometimes, firmly refusing can be the more compassionate action. For example, giving money for alcohol to an alcoholic might seem kind, but actually harms that person. True compassion means acting in ways that help the person long term, even if uncomfortable in the moment. Also, taking care of yourself is part of compassion. You must be healthy and stable to help others. It's like the airplane safety instruction to put on your own oxygen mask first before helping others. Psychology calls this healthy boundary setting, acknowledging your limits and drawing appropriate lines while not losing consideration for others. This isn't coldness, but expression of wise love. So how can we set healthy boundaries? First, honestly acknowledge your limits. You can't help everyone or solve every problem. Acknowledging this is humility and also a realistic approach. Second, diversify your ways of helping. If you can't give financial help, you can listen with your time, or if you don't have time, you can provide good information or connect them to professional help. True help isn't creating dependency, but helping develop independence. Like the saying that teaching someone to fish is better help than giving them a fish. ## the art of truly helpful help. So specifically, how can we give truly helpful help? The Prajñāpāramitā Sutra presents specific guidelines for this. First, truly listen to what the other person is saying. In many cases, what people want isn't solutions, but empathy. Just having their feelings understood and acknowledged brings great comfort. Don't rush to give advice. First, listen fully. Second, discover and encourage the other person's strengths. Don't focus only on problems, but find that person's resources and abilities together. Convey the message, you have these strengths, so you can definitely overcome this. Third, provide specific and practical help. Rather than abstract encouragement, providing actually needed information, connections, skills, is more helpful. But first, ask what they want. Fourth, show continued interest. Consistent attention and encouragement is more powerful than one-time help. Regularly check in, share progress together, and give the sense of trust that they can contact you anytime needed. When giving help, what's important is not getting attached to results. Don't expect that because you helped, the other person must improve. Everyone has their own pace and way, so the results are the other person's responsibility. Maintain that ease. Modern counseling psychology techniques are also very helpful. Carl Rogers' unconditional positive regard means accepting the other person as they are without judgment. This attitude alone can give the other person great comfort and strength. ## how to give without burnout. But while helping others, sometimes we get so exhausted we can no longer help. This is called helper burnout, especially common among counselors, social workers, medical staff, and others whose job is helping. Main symptoms of burnout are emotional exhaustion, dehumanization, and decreased sense of personal achievement. What started as passionate help gradually accumulates fatigue, seeing the other person not as a human being but as a problem or case, feeling that your help has no meaning. How can we prevent this burnout? First, acknowledge and accept your limits. You can't save everyone or solve every problem. This isn't incompetence, but natural human limitation. Second, prioritize self-care. You must recharge your energy through sufficient rest, balanced meals, appropriate exercise, hobby activities. This isn't selfish, but an essential condition for sustainable help. The Prajñāpāramitā Sutra calls this wise approach skillful means, using appropriate methods for situations, meaning flexible compassion. Providing customized help suited to the other person's needs and situation, not uniform help. The modern psychology concept of self-compassion is also helpful. This concept, developed by Kristen Neff, means treating yourself kindly and understandingly, as you would a friend. Research shows people with self-compassion can extend more genuine compassion to others. #, living altruistically in family and work. Now let's look more specifically at how we can practice altruistic heart in daily life. Let's start with family relationships. Family is both the best space to practice altruism and simultaneously the most difficult space. The closer we are, the easier it becomes to take each other for granted and neglect consideration. Also, in very intimate relationships, boundaries can become unclear, making healthy distance maintenance difficult. In parent-child relationships, how can we practice altruistic love? From the parent's perspective, it's important to wish for the child's true happiness without projecting your own expectations or desires. Recognizing that children aren't beings who fulfill parents' dreams in their place, but independent personalities with unique characteristics and paths. From the child's perspective, it's important to be grateful for parents' sacrifice and love without being trapped by guilt. Finding balance between wanting to please parents and wanting to live your own life. Filial piety might not be unconditionally following parents' wishes, but pursuing what parents truly want, their child's happiness. How can we practice altruism in the workplace? The workplace might seem difficult for practicing altruism since it's competitive and performance-focused, but actually, cooperation and consideration often bring better results. First, sincerely congratulate and support colleagues' success. Don't be jealous or check others' success, but cultivate the heart to rejoice together. This isn't just courtesy, but helps improve overall team performance. Second, generously share your knowledge and experience. You might think keeping knowledge to yourself gives you advantage, but actually sharing knowledge creates bigger synergy. Through teaching, you understand more deeply yourself and can learn new things from others. Research shows givers belong to both the lowest and highest performing groups in the workplace. The difference is whether you do wise giving or indiscriminate giving. Those who give wisely achieve greater long-term success. #, small practices that change the world. Now let's think about social contribution in a broader scope. When we think of changing the world, We easily think of grand things, but actually small practices gather to create big changes. First, daily practices for environmental protection. Reducing single-use items, using public transportation, saving energy. These might be small inconveniences for individuals, but if everyone practices them, they greatly help the entire Earth. This is also consideration for future generations. Second, practicing fair consumption. Through purchasing fair trade products, supporting ethical companies using local businesses, we can reflect social values in economic decisions. Third, correctly sharing information and knowledge. Not spreading fake news or hate speech, sharing fact-based information, creating constructive dialogue culture. Fourth, showing interest in marginalized neighbors. Showing warm interest to elderly people living alone, disabled people, immigrants, homeless people, and other marginalized neighbors around us. Extending helping hands when needed. Mother Teresa said, "Do small things with great love." Even if not grand, small actions filled with love and care gather to change the world. Gandhi also said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world. Don't wait for others to change. Become the starting point of change yourself." Modern sociology's butterfly effect theory supports this. Small changes can have great impact on entire systems. One person's kind action can spread in chain reactions, affecting many people. The Prajñāpāramitā Sutra calls this social practice bodhisattva conduct. Bodhisattvas are beings who don't stop at their own liberation, but continuously work for all beings' liberation. This isn't just for religious practitioners, but a life attitude anyone can practice in daily life. #, living with the bodhisattva mind. Now we've explored together love that transcends self, the bodhisattva mind. Let's summarize how we can live with the bodhisattva mind in daily life. Living with the bodhisattva mind doesn't mean becoming a special person. It means having a slightly broader perspective, slightly warmer heart, and making slightly wiser choices in ordinary daily moments. Thinking, is there something I can do to help someone today? When waking up in the morning, giving your seat to someone who looks tired on the subway, thinking once more from the other person's perspective when angry, encouraging rather than blaming a colleague who made a mistake. All these small actions are the bodhisattva mind. What's important isn't perfection, but direction. You don't need to be perfectly altruistic every time. Sometimes caring for yourself might be priority. Sometimes firmly refusing might be the wiser choice. But if the overall direction of your life isn't just for yourself, but toward greater happiness, that's the bodhisattva path. Also, the bodhisattva mind isn't created by force. It flows naturally. When you truly realize that self and others are one, when you experience that others' happiness is your own happiness, altruism becomes not duty but joy. This experience doesn't come overnight. It gradually deepens through steady practice and reflection. Experiencing the joy that small kindnesses bring, cultivating compassionate hearts by empathizing with others' suffering, building wisdom by pursuing reconciliation in conflict situations. In this journey, what's most important is compassion for yourself. Accepting yourself as imperfect, forgiving yourself when you make mistakes, not losing the will to continue growing. Only with self-compassion is true compassion for others possible. Also, don't try to do it alone. Finding companions is important. When you're with people who have similar values, you can encourage each other and learn while growing faster. You can find such companions in family, friends, colleagues, or local communities and online communities. Finally, please remember that living with the Bodhisattva mind isn't sacrifice or suffering, but true joy and freedom. You'll experience greater meaning and satisfaction than when living only for yourself. The warm smiles created by small kindnesses, grateful words from those who received help, the joy of growing together, these things bring true abundance to life. I sincerely hope your life becomes filled with this beautiful Bodhisattva mind. Practicing love that transcends self is never an easy path, but when we walk that path, we discover true happiness and peace. Please start with small steps and gradually practice broader and deeper love. Next time, we'll explore together the wisdom of emptiness that frees us from attachment. Thank you sincerely for sharing this precious time with me today.